How to lose fat and fast. This is something that everybody wants to do. Everybody wants to get in shape for a wedding, a holiday, whatever it may be. Everybody wants the results now. And that is just something that society has slowly started to lean towards as things have just become more accessible. We've been able to just order clothes, we've been able to order a takeaway, and it's been with us within the day or even the hour. And now people are wanting to get in shape really, really quickly. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take us through how to lose fat fast. And it's a great little analogy to help us sort of get in shape, but also to see the flip side of the coin and why we might not want to do it so quickly. So, without further ado, we need to look at, I'm going to move myself here. We need to look at, in order to lose weight, we need to be in a calorie deficit. We know that our calories in need to be less than our calories out. So that then means that we are burning more energy than we're actually taking in. So you can see here, input is less than the output. That then means that our body reaches for fat stores to convert back to energy via glycolysis, and this then allows us to burn fat. We've also got to look at adherence. So if our diet is following this principle, it's in a calorie deficit, but also we are able to adhere to it, we are going to see results. It's really as simple as that. So you can have the absolute best diet in the world, but if you can't stick to it, then you're not going to see the best results. Equally, you could have a diet which isn't the best, but because you can adhere to it, you actually see the best results for that diet, and it might even be better than following the best diet in the world. So really, when picking a diet and we want to lose weight, we need to make sure that the calories in are less than the calories out, so we're in a calorie deficit, and we can adhere to it. That is pretty much the most important thing. Doesn't matter about macros, doesn't matter about meal timing, anything like that. As long as these two principles remain, we're golden. So, when we approach a diet, or when we approach wanting to lose weight, what do we go for? Do we go for more cardio? Or do we go for low food? It's one of those things where as soon as people want to start losing weight, they start doing hours of cardio and they start doing keto diet or whatever it may be to reduce their calories. And again, either works, because you can lose weight by doing no cardio, just by managing your food, or you can lose weight by doing a load of cardio and not managing your food. So it's really a balance of the two. I would recommend counting your calories, making sure that we are eating just below our maintenance calories by around 200-300, and also implementing just a small amount of cardio, more for health, but also for some fat loss purposes as well. I do believe that everybody should be doing some sort of cardio anyway, whether that be a run, Stairmaster, row on the bike, etc. So what I would do, 200 or 300 below maintenance, and then just 10-15 minutes of cardio 3 or 4 times a week. Start off at that. If your body weight then doesn't drop, we can then look to lower your food a little bit more, or we can increase your cardio just a little bit by 5 or 10 minutes, depending on how it is. But let's keep it real. We've got to look at this for the long run. You might want to be in shape for your birthday, you might want to be in shape for your holiday, but you know, what's more important? For me, it's long-term health and happiness. What are you going to enjoy the most, and what is going to yield you the most sort of enjoyment? It's going to be sticking something for the long game and making sure that, right, I'm not going to be just in shape for this holiday. I'm going to be in shape for the rest of my life. And how do we do that? Well, we follow a diet that is sustainable, and we make sure that we don't lose any more than 1% of our body weight per week. So let's just keep it simple. If we're 100 kilo, we don't want to be losing really any more than a kilo per week. And this is going to slow down as we get lighter. So let's just say you've lost 10 kilo. You're then looking to lose maximum 0.9 kilo. And I know it's only small, but this is really important to remember that body weight and your scale weight will slow down the longer you've been dieting. So don't feel like, oh, I'm not doing as well or whatever. Because you got to remember, your body becomes more efficient. Your body's overall weight, it's got less to lose. So you've not got as much to lose. So therefore, a percentage of your body weight starting from January compared to a percentage of your body weight in December is going to be slightly different if you've lost weight throughout the whole year. So always remember that if we are wanting to lose weight, just make sure that we're going between this 0.5 and this 1% per week. If our diet is not sustainable, if we can't stick to the diet, if we're making changes too drastically and we're doing tons of cardio, tons of steps, very little food, we won't be able to see those long-term results. So while you might get in shape in 6-8 weeks, however long it may be, after that you're probably going to be back out of shape because you've done it in a way that isn't sustainable in the long run. Health and happiness is also really important. What is going to make you more healthy? Doing a diet which is nice and sustainable, still having some nice little treats, it's going to bring a little bit of happiness to you. But also, you're not going to be restricting yourself drastically and taking away these key nutrients, which a lot of people do when they take out carbs or when they take out a certain food group. I'm going to take out bread, or I'm going to take out fruit, whatever it may be. There's so many different things that people try and restrict when they try and get in shape. And for me, it's about sustainability, making sure that we're roughly 0.5 to 1% per week, and making sure that we're healthy and we are actually happy whilst we're doing it. And that, for me, is so much more important than getting that fat off really, really quickly. So, what you shouldn't do. When it comes to losing weight, we don't want to be restricting ourselves. That is literally what I just said. Can't find myself a place. We don't want to be restricting ourselves. So, if we're restricting ourselves too much, it's going to lead to binging. It's going to lead to overeating. We all know that time where we've skipped breakfast, we've skipped lunch, we've come home and we have eaten the kitchen. We've gone into every single cupboard, seen what's there, eaten it all. We sit on the sofa after and oh, fucking hell, this is a lot of food that I've just eaten. You've actually eaten more food then than what you would have if you'd have eaten breakfast and lunch and had just a normal dinner. So we don't want to be restricting ourselves. We still want to give ourselves frequent meals, making sure that we're getting 30 to 50 grams of protein, keeping nice and satiated with that food, making sure that we're getting in fruit and veg, making sure that we're still getting in good quality fats, fibre, getting in all the nutrients that our body needs. Because if we restrict ourselves, we're going to overeat, but also our body's not going to like it. We're going to potentially pick up a couple of little hiccups like an illness, or regulation might be a little bit different, etc. So we need to make sure that we're not restricting ourselves on a whole or from a specific food group. Injections and pills. I've had so many questions. In fact, far too many questions about, do we need injections? Do we need these fat loss pills? Firstly, you do not need anything. Stop telling yourself that you need a chocolate bar. Stop telling yourself that you need this to lose weight. You don't. All you need to do is make sure that your calories in are less than your calories out, and you are disciplined. That is really as simple as that. If you think that you need a pill or you need an injection, the chances are you're just not disciplined enough. You're just not consistent enough. And if that's you, I'm afraid to sort of tell you, you just need to pull your finger out, stop being lazy, and just get on with it. Because there's no shortcuts. If you're trying to find a shortcut, if you're using Ozempic or Wajabi, whatever the new injection is, the way that you get there is likely the way that you're going to keep it off. Not all the time, don't get me wrong, but if you're having to use an injection to make you lose weight, which then makes you massively undereat, because don't forget, all of these injections, all they do is they suppress your appetite, they might raise your body temperature just a little bit, they make you burn a little bit more calories, they make you eat less calories, and therefore you lose weight. It's not rocket science. But if we're eating less, we then come off these injections, come off these pills, what then happens? Maybe our appetite goes back to normal. Or perhaps you want to go back to normal eating. You're sick of eating just 2 meals a day because before you didn't have the appetite. Now you've got the appetite. Now you've stopped these injections. You then start eating normal. You then start putting all that weight back on. And it's really as simple as that. However you get something tends to be the way that you keep it. Unless you manage things correctly, which the chances are, if you've been getting these injections, if you've been getting these pills, you won't have the support to do so. So make sure to avoid these if you haven't got the correct support and you've not got the sort of correct nutritional guidance as it is. Special diets like keto, Atkins, etc. They only work because you're following a calorie deficit. Can you see what I'm saying? You're restricting yourself, which is creating that calorie deficit, but then you're overeating, which is creating that surplus so you don't lose weight. Injections, they cause you to have a loss in appetite, making you go into a calorie deficit. Special diets, you eat less carbs because carbs were what were making you eat too many calories, and therefore you're in a calorie deficit, which makes you lose weight. It's really that simple. If we can just make sure that our diet, no matter if it has carbs in, fats in, protein, whatever it may be, as long as you are in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight. It's as simple as that. So you shouldn't follow special diets. You shouldn't have this. You shouldn't be restricting yourself because the be all and end all is in versus out. So here's what you need. It's really, really simple. What have I just said? Calorie deficit. You need to be able to adhere to it. Can we stick to the plan? Are we disciplined? Are we disciplined enough to go, right, I'm not going to have that chocolate cake that's in the cupboard. I'm not going to have that packet of crisps when I'm in the service station. Steps, cardio. Are we moving enough? Are we creating that demand for the food? Are we making sure that our output is greater than our input? Are we eating foods that are going to satiate us? Are they going to satisfy us as well? It's all well and good eating just chicken breasts because it's going to satiate us, it's going to make us feel full. If you didn't know, protein is the most satiating food that we can eat. No, let me correct that. Protein is the most satiating macronutrient that we can eat. So therefore, for 100 grams of protein compared to 100 grams of carbs, 100 grams of protein is going to satiate us a lot more, make us feel a lot more full. So it's all well and good us feeling satiated, but if we've not satisfied that sweet tooth, even though we feel full, we're still sort of craving that chocolate or maybe that sugar or whatever it may be. We still need to satisfy those cravings. So we need to find a balance of eating foods that satiate us and eating foods that satisfy us as well. And again, 0.5 to 1% of our body weight per week. Really, really important. If you're losing any more, the chances are it's either going to be a muscle or it's not going to be sustainable. So make sure to try and stick between this and yield the absolute best results. I believe that is it from me. And that is how to lose fat fast, but also why you shouldn't always look for the fastest approach when losing fat.